Hello, community. It is your girl, MoMo Love, and I am here with the talented leader, community activist, author, businesswoman. I mean, the list goes on and on about who Terrie Hudson is. Welcome to Community Voices.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh,
I'm delighted to be here and delighted to meet you.
It is a pleasure. We're going to talk to Terrie about leaving a legacy that counts. Her new book that she is currently promoting on tour here in the Washington, D.C. area.
Yes.
And it is a phenomenal chapter in your life, okay? Because we are all right now struggling, trying to figure out who we are and what we're going to leave to our heirs, our children, the future. Mm-hmm. And you have outlined this so poetically. Tell us a little bit about yourself first.
Okay, first, I am currently living in Dallas, Texas. I am a native of South Carolina, but spent most of my life in Atlanta and Fort Lauderdale. Love the East Coast, but I went to Morgan State University right in Baltimore here. Yay, Morgan! And so I'm very grateful for Morgan and all the things I got at an HBCU. Shout out to all the HBCUs.
Yes,
I am a business leader. I have worked in the business world for over 38 years. I am a speaker. I coach people on how to make difficult transitions in their lives, whether the transition is personal or professional. And I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, I'm a wife, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, and I love all my roles.
And just radiating all of her black girl magic,
All
okay?
of
And I'm
it.
hoping a lot of it will feed off, okay? We are here at the Busboys and Poets on Carroll Street Northwest, and we thank them for giving us some space so we could have this opportunity to talk and talk about a legacy that counts and leaving a legacy that counts. Mm-hmm. You know, it takes a while to understand what that actually means.
Yes.
What is the definition of legacy?
Okay. To me, legacy is all about what you deposit in other people. There are different kinds of legacies, though. There are 4 kinds, and I outlined them in the book. Mm-hmm. The first one that most people think about is a financial legacy. That 401k, that cash that somebody leaves you, which is great, but it's really not the most important thing. The second one that people think about most often is material, like real estate, diamonds, jewelry, houses, those kinds of things. And then thirdly, one we have no control over is biology. We get our looks, we get diseases, we get whatever we get from the people that, came before us.
Yeah.
And the last one that I believe is the best one is finding a way to use your values as your legacy and look for the values and how you may have received values from the people before you. What do you do with them? What do you leave with those values? What do you leave for other people using your values and your purpose in life?
And I think that should be probably number one. Not that you call it in any order, right?
Absolutely.
But let's talk about that financial legacy that we always really want to leave, because that's the key. I want to make sure that my family is able to go on without me. Now, truth be told, most of us struggle here.
Yes.
So what does that, in real time, what does a financial legacy look like?
I think a couple things. One is, if you're not paying yourself, I don't care how much you make, how little you make, or how much you make, the first thing you ought to do is be socking away some money for the future. Yeah. That's the first thing. And it's your future, not necessarily what you're going to leave to somebody else, but you want to sock that money away. Most of us just live paycheck to paycheck.
Yes.
And I would say to you, even if you need to live paycheck to paycheck, pay yourself first. Just a little bit.
$1,
it adds
$2,
up. $1,
$3,
$2, all of that. Whatever you can afford to put aside, it makes a difference. And here's the key: consistency.
That's it.
You have to do it every time you get paid.
I think sometimes we'll start.
Yes.
We'll open up a bank account.
Yes.
We'll get our jar. We'll say we're going to put it in somebody's name.
Right.
And you'll start. I mean, and 6 weeks you're doing good, and you even see some of your growth, right? But then rain comes. Baby needs new shoes. Somebody needs new tires on the car.
But You know, once you pay for that, something that drops in, get right back into saving. And if you pay yourself first, you won't miss it.
Now, let me ask you about if you're married and trying to build financial. My cousins, they live off of one.
A lot of people do that.
They live off one
paycheck.
Yeah.
And all the rest they put away. And I would say that is great if you can afford to do that.
If you can.
The other thing is if you have an employer who matches what you save all you can.
Yeah.
Because if they're going to match you, you save at least max up to what they are going to contribute to your savings.
And you really don't miss it.
You don't.
You really don't miss it.
You
when
don't.
you really put it away, and there's so many tricks that you can do to yourself.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Put it in the bank account that you have to drive an hour to.
Drive an hour to.
Don't get an
used to,
ATM card.
Have bank deposits automatically drawing out of my paycheck. I never saw the money.
Yeah.
So when I got my paycheck, it was already in my bank savings somewhere. Or it was already in the 401k. So I never saw the money.
Yeah. You talk about financial legacy.
Yes.
What about, let me start again.
Okay.
So what about a material legacy?
Yes, material legacy is really important. And sometimes we ignore material things because we don't recognize that they have importance. For example, at my house, I have pieces that belong to my husband's father and grandfather. They were old and beat up. I had them restored because I want to pass those pieces on to someone. We have some hand-built furniture that somebody lovingly built, somebody lovingly resurfaced. I really want to save those things for my daughter and granddaughter. And so it's important to look for things that had meaning to the elders that you can find meaning in. And then the other thing is some things like real estate. Real estate's a good thing to put your money in.
Yes.
If you can afford to, keep that real estate. We sometimes lose property generation to generation.
Yes.
And so finding a way, even if you've got to call all your cousins, all y'all get together and figure out how you save grandma's property.
Okay.
Even if it's not in the best location, it's still property and has value. Yeah. Hold on to the things that you can. Yeah. And sometimes it takes the whole village to do that.
And it definitely does. But on the flip, though, you know, and I think it comes into one of the fourth reasons of the legacy that counts is important. Sometimes when you want to restore a beautiful piece of furniture or your home or jewelry, your heirs may not want that.
Oh, that is so perfect.
How do you deal with that, and how do you instill how much of a legacy within yourself?
Yes, that's a very good point, because I have a piece at my house that my daughter said, "Mom, I don't think I want that." This was some years ago. I don't think I want that, and I was just like devastated. What do you mean you don't want this? This is important to me. So what I had decided though was, if not to her, who in the family? It may not be my direct descendant. Who in the family would find value? Luckily, she's come to her senses.
Okay.
And now says,
grown up.
She's grown up now. But you're right. Sometimes people don't want it.
Yeah.
And so the real question is there someone else that you can leave it to? And think about our HBCUs. Yeah. Think about other nonprofits that might benefit from the sale of your property.
Oh, yeah.
Because now you're beginning to leave a legacy somewhere else.
Back to that financial. And
it's
also
financial and the values.
That
this, the money part of this may not have been that important. Yeah. But look what that money did. Maybe it sent somebody to college. Yeah. Maybe it helped somebody go through a difficult health scare. Yeah. They were able to pay for medication.
And the legacy lives on.
Yeah, so the legacy lives on differently than you may have intended, but it lives on.
I love it.
It lives
I
on.
love it. What's the third one?
So the third one is biological.
The biological legacy. Sometimes we want it.
Sometimes we want it. Sometimes we don't. You got the. I think about Barack Obama with those big old ears he got. He got those from somebody, right? Right?
He did.
Maybe somebody got a sixth finger on their hand. They didn't really want that.
Yes.
But you also got your skin. Your beautiful skin or your beautiful eyes. Yes. So we get good things biologically, but we also get some things that might be troubling, like propensity to be have high blood pressure, to be diabetic. Yes. Those things are not things you want to pass on,
but they are.
But they are passed on. What we have to understand is who's passing those things on and making sure that we understand the medications people need to be on. I think about mental health. You know, a lot of mental health issues are sometimes passed on in our genes.
Yeah.
So we need to own that though and address them.
Yeah, and I think that's part of securing the legacy
Yes.
and extending the legacy, because sometimes we don't talk about it.
Oh,
we talk
yes.
around it.
Around it.
Oh, you know they got the sugar. You know they got this, and they
Right.
shouldn't be doing this, and they shouldn't be
Right.
doing that. But we don't say, "Hey, listen, I really need you to not."
I need you to know. I need you to take care of
Yes,
yourself.
because I need your
you.
legacy to live on. I
Yes,
want to
yes.
tell my children, your children, about the greatness of you
Yes.
outside of this.
Yes, yes, we have to confront people. And the other thing is, I go back to mental health because I talk about that in the book.
Yes.
My mother was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But she also later in midlife became very, very cautious in her life for just a bit. And then we realized my mother was suffering from depression and other mental illnesses. The family didn't want to talk about
Yeah.
that. I talk about that openly because we need to know that.
Yes.
That's part of the legacy that is in me.
Yes.
You need to know that.
Yes.
And you also need to own any illness because it's all the same. Heart attack, depression. You wouldn't be afraid to talk about a heart attack.
No.
Don't be afraid to talk about depression.
And I agree with that.
We need to talk about that in our communities.
I agree with that, because we're losing a lot, and even with the children. So what happens is, even if, because mental illness can start from birth.
Absolutely. Very early.
And so if we don't understand what it is and get it treated,
That's right.
however,
That's right.
whether it's through medicine or
Therapist.
therapist,
Yes. All of those things.
all of those things
are
matter,
in
but
play.
we have to do
That's
it.
right. And we have to be willing to say, it's okay to go see a doctor, it's okay to see a therapist.
Yeah.
Not okay. You need,
need
to
to.
see a therapist.
Get that out. Fourth, and not necessarily final, but
It's the most
it is
important
the most
to me.
important.
Yes.
And it should be to all of us.
Yes.
Values.
Absolutely. Values. When you don't know what your values are, you don't know what you stand for. And will therefore you fall for anything? And so values have to do with what is really important in your life.
Yeah.
Money is important, but it's not the most important thing. It's what do you value? Do you value education? Do you value literacy? Do you value health? Do you value generosity, soul to soul? It's understanding what's important. And when you move from one job to another, when your children leave your home, what do they take with them that you have imparted to them? That is more important than anything else.
Foundation.
You can lose money,
Yeah.
you can lose health,
Yeah.
but you don't lose integrity.
Yeah.
That I hope you understand how
Yeah.
important that is. You don't lose the fact that family is most important, and you hold on to that. And you not only hold on to it for your children, but your children instill that in themselves and their children.
a legacy.
Leaving a legacy.
that counts.
Yes, and I often think about one of the things I say in the book. I have lots of sayings from my grandmother,
Okay.
and my grandfather. And my grandmother used to say, "Every pot must sit on its own bottom."
Meaning.
And I used to think, that is about the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I was a little girl.
Right.
And then as I got to know her more and know it, she means everyone is accountable and responsible for themselves. Your
That's it.
actions, don't blame anybody else
Yeah.
when you do things that you know you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
If you have a family, you are accountable for loving that family. You're responsible for providing for that family. Every pot must sit on its own bottom.
sit on its
And I
own
try to
bottom.
teach my children, every pot must sit on its own bottom.
Yeah. And these things take a while to develop.
They do.
They do not
They do.
happen overnight. Leaving a legacy that counts. I love the fact that you say you can create one at any age.
Yes. At any age, any time.
Yeah.
That's what's so fascinating to me. I was trying to find people that other people might relate to, and Marley Diaz is one of my favorites in the book. Marley was 10 when she decided there are no books about black girls that look like me.
So
she said,
write it.
I'm going to find 1,000 black girl books.
Yeah.
and I'm going to donate them.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And so she started looking for writers and finding writers, and it really showed that there's a gap in the whole literacy market for little black girls. So not only did she donate that first 1,000, I think she's up to something like 15,000 books that she has found and donated about black girls that look just like her.
And
just like that's a legacy.
Exactly. I was just
it's a legacy.
That
she is already 10, now she's older.
Yeah.
But she's created a legacy that matters to so many people and affirmed
and inspires
so many people
and
inspires others to do the same.
Yeah.
So I encourage people to look at what matters to them. What interests you? Maybe you like healthy foods, healthy living, and you drive through a food desert every day where people don't have good fresh vegetables. With your gardening skills, maybe you go into that community and you help set up a community garden so that people can feed themselves and sustain themselves. That's legacy.
That's legacy. And it's funny because my question was getting ready to be pursuing the goals in order to get to this legacy. And that's it. We have God-given talent.
Oh, absolutely.
And we don't have to sit and wonder what can we do because we have it within us to do it.
Yes. He has already equipped every last one of us with a special set of talents and gifts. And even if you don't know what all yours are, you can certainly search in your soul and find one or two things that he has already given you that you can use. And when you look at those things, how do I use them? I knew that I was a gifted speaker from an early child. I use my voice to give voice to other people who don't have a voice. I use my voice to raise money for things that are important to me, educating women, lifting women out of poverty, giving children an opportunity to excel. That's what I use my voice for. And my book is to inspire you and encourage you, not just to read it, take action, create a legacy no matter how old you are, no matter what you've been given. You may not have money. You don't need money to create a legacy. You just need to have the thought of what that might look like in your life.
Can we talk about reality, about, excuses and pity parties?
Yes.
How long, really, we're going to have them.
Yes, we do.
When things come our way, we're going to have them. What do you suggest? How long should we have a pity party?
Okay,
how long should we sit at that table?
I can tell you that. So, my husband wasn't feeling well the other day, and I said, okay, you have 2 minutes. So 2 minutes for you to wallow in whatever that is. And then you pick yourself up. Now, if it's something major, 2 minutes may not be long enough. But I say this. When you feel really down and you want to have that pity party, ask yourself, what's the worst thing that could happen while I'm wallowing down here? What am I missing because I'm wallowing? When you wallow, you don't get the opportunity to see what else wonderful is happening around you. So I say to you, if it's really a big doggone deal, maybe a couple days. But if it's a little thing, a couple hours, and you should say, I'm done with that. Here's the other thing. If it doesn't help you move forward, drop it.
Leave it right where it is.
Right where it is. You don't need it.
And let's talk about support. Let's talk about having an accountability partner, because we know we have to be accountable to ourselves. And all of these things go into leaving the legacy that counts, because no one person can do it on their own. No island can stand.
That's right.
So talk to us about support and what that looks like, or what that could look like in one's life.
Absolutely. I think if you are trying to navigate life by yourself, one, it's a sad situation, but two, you're not going to be very successful. So look in your circle of friends, or maybe not even your circle of friends, because you may not have friends who are on the same page as you at this moment. So you look around and find other people. I call it ear hustling. So you're on the train, or you're on your mass transit is, and you hear someone speaking on the phone, and they're talking about things that interest you. You might want to ask that person, have a conversation with that person. If you know you like to read, and you want to write a book, and you've never written a book, do what I did. I've never written a book. I found an author. I also found someone who was a coach. And I said to her, you know what? I met you long before I was ready to write this book, but I know I don't know enough about it to do it on my own. I am a coach on other things, I need a coach.
On this, okay.
I went to get a coach. And now she's a part of my circle. And she's introduced me to other people in the writing community that I would never have known. And so I had to reach out. You need support.
Yeah.
Reach out to people that are doing the things you want to do.
And don't be afraid to
And
ask
don't be
questions.
afraid. Oh, in fact, there's the only dumb question is the one you did not ask.
There you go. I say that all the time.
That's the only dumb question. It's the one you did not ask. And I think the other thing is we have big dreams.
Yeah.
And we talk ourselves out of our big dreams.
And it's another great segue because I was going to talk about manifestation. You know, speaking things into existence, writing things down, pinning them up. Are you an advocate of that?
I'm a big advocate, not just of writing down what I want. I have a journal that I write down everything that I want to occur.
Yeah.
But then I put mantras in place for myself.
Okay.
That's it. In fact, when I started to write the book, I kept saying, I'm not going to be some of those people who write and never publish. So I never said I'm a writer. I said I'm an author before I'd ever gotten through the first draft.
Okay.
I am an author. I am a published author. My name on the book will be Terrie Hudson. I claim that.
Yes.
I claim that someone would want to interview me about my book and look at this. So I am a big believer in saying what you want, you know, writing it down, you know, telling yourself about it, and I visualize myself doing what I want to occur. And so visualization is important. I also believe you tell someone.
Okay.
Because when you tell someone, it puts you on the hook. That's the accountability partner.
Okay.
I told everybody in the world, I'm writing a book. I hadn't written very much at the time.
So every time they
would say, where are you on that book? And I go, oh, I need to get on my book.
Right.
So that puts it out in the universe, and people will come and remind you of what you said you're going to do.
I love it.
So yes, that is one way of getting an accountability partner or partners.
Yes, because you can have more than one. There's
one.
Absolutely no problem with that.
Yes.
Talk to us about investment in self.
Oh, you know, we sometimes, particularly women, we take care of our families, we take care of our children, we take care of our employees, we take care of, you know, other people in the community that need us, and we are the last ones that we take care of. And I say to you, if you can't take care of yourself first, you really are not in the best position to care for someone else.
Doing yourself a disservice.
You're doing yourself a disservice. And so you make time. And if you don't have time during the day, put away social media. Put away the television. Put away even, you know, whatever it is that is interrupting you, and have me time.
Yes.
That me time can be, you know, I'm going to take a bath with candlelight. I'm going to take a walk. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to call my girlfriends and just have a conversation.
Yeah.
And so taking care of yourself is very important. The other part of taking care of yourself to me is investing in your development. So, for example, I wanted a coach. I had to pay that coach and pay handsomely.
Yes.
Pay for support that allows you freedom. If you can afford to have a housekeeper, even if it's for 1 week, pay the housekeeper so that you can go spend time doing the things that build you up, whether that's taking a course or meeting other people or whatever that thing is.
Because what that happens is that is an additional investment in yourself.
In yourself.
That helps you to leave the legacy that counts.
Yes, you want to be able to leave a legacy. If you don't have a lot to give, you can't go give it.
Yeah.
And so the investment is, I'm going to show other people how to live a life more fully by leaving a legacy of health. I'm going to show people that you don't have to be all stressed out, because I'm going to have enough calmness in my life and joy in my life. They see that on my face. That's leaving a legacy. You're showing people how to live better. It's by what you do for yourself, how to love better. And love yourself.
And I believe it. I believe the community, because when I came in, I knew exactly who Miss Terrie was. Okay, she radiates woman and elegance and class and style, and I think you are going to leave a great legacy.
Thank you.
For your family. Leave a legacy that counts. You can create one at any age. All right, Miss Terrie
I'm going to tell you where I buy this book. You can buy this book on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, and Apple, as well as on my website, Terrie Hudson, TerrieHudson.com. And I'll leave you with one last word. make a deposit in people, not your bank account.
That's right. All right, and there you have it, community. It's MoMo Love, just coming to you from the streets and talking to Miss Terrie Duvall. I love it so much.
Well, thank you.
I love it so
Thank
much.
you, and
We'll
thank you for
definitely
having me.
make sure we post the link up on the website, up on the page. We'll post the link on the page
Yes.
and make sure that everybody gets in touch with you.
That would be wonderful.
All right.
Love it.
Thank you.
Thank you.